Hello and welcome back to Constellation Station. I'm Nicole from the Cincinnati Observatory and welcome to our last Constellation Station of 2020. Thank you for joining me every Thursday for this show throughout 2020 since April, since lockdown. You guys have been great supporters of our show and we're really excited to take the show in a new direction in 2021. For more information about that, you can find it on our Instagram. I have a whole post about what we're going to do in the new year. So join me again on Thursday next week for a fun constellation craft. But today we're ending the year with a bang. So the theme of our show today is kind of like a summary. So we're going to use stars that we've talked about from constellations we've talked about since the very beginning of the show to kind of round out our year and maybe test your expertise a little bit. So our very last constellation is called the Winter Football. Now I want you to look up at my stars I have up here and see if you can find our Winter Football up here. I think that this is maybe the easiest shape we've done so far. I know we have to use our imaginations a lot, but I think if we connect the dots together, we'll easily be able to see our Winter Football emerge out of these stars. Are you guys ready to get started? All right, let's go. So I decided today as a kind of challenge to use one of my strings, one long string to connect all the dots of my constellation here. So I'm going to use one of my really long clotheslines. So I've been using this clothesline a lot since the beginning of the show. And I'm going to use our clothesline today to connect all of our dots. And as we go along, I'm going to tell you the names of the different stars that we are covering. And then we can talk a little bit about where we might have learned about these before. So let's start at the very top. Maybe the most important star in the sky, the Capella star, just like my last name. The Capella star right here at the top of our constellation. And you can see that I've added a couple more colors to our constellation stars because even though most stars kind of fall in the blue, the white, the red category, some of them are a little bit in between, so I've included those colors today. So Capella is made up of many stars, not just 2 stars, not just 3 stars, 4 stars, and they're all kind of different colors. So what it ends up looking like is about a yellow star altogether. It kind of takes on the color of its brightest star in there. And so we'll start with Capella, and then we'll go down to the right here. So we'll start with our Capella star down to Aldebaran. So this orange star right here is Aldebaran. And we talked about this star in our very first show. That's right, our very first show. So we started with Capella, which we talked about last week in Ariat, and then we have our Aldebaran. That's from Taurus the bull. So you can go back and see our very first episode, see where we talked about Taurus the bull. And then we go down to another really bright star, Rigel. Rigel was also from the beginning of our episode. So going back to April, maybe May, we talked about Orion. And Orion is really big and bright up in the night sky right now. So it's a really good winter constellation to go outside and view. Rigel is one of the feet of Orion. So if you can find Orion's belt stars, you could follow it down to his feet and find our Rigel star as well. So what's really great is you can look and find these other constellations, maybe go back and watch the episodes about those constellations, and then see how all of them connect together to make this Winter Football. So we get down to the bottom, and we have the star Sirius. So if we have any Harry Potter fans out there, just like Sirius Black from Harry Potter, so we have our Sirius star, and Sirius will be super easy to find. Sirius is really big and really bright, one of the brightest stars out that you can see from Earth. So we have Capella, Aldebaran, Rigel, we have Sirius. Now we're going up to Procyon. So this is a star that we haven't talked about yet on our show, but it makes up part of our Winter Football. Also, one of these yellow stars. One of our yellow stars here. And now we have our Gemini twins. We've talked a little bit about Gemini with Castor and Pollux, our 2 bright stars of those constellations. So next we go up to first Pollux, which is also a yellow star. Then Castor, here again. These are not the brightest stars, but you'll be able to find them if you follow a lot of our other stars here. And then we finish up, oh no, I didn't quite make it. That's okay. But we have our last little bit here. I cut a little extra just in case. So we have Castor connecting back to Capella here. So we'll tape this here. Then I just need a little bit more tape to finish connecting the dots. Now, I don't know about you, but I can definitely see a winter football coming together. So we have a lot of these stars that we've already talked about. So hopefully you are already a pro at finding these stars in the night sky. Now all you have to do is add on what you know and connect the dots so that you can see them as this football. So I love that we can use our imagination to think about the stars that we already have found up in the night sky and then make them into a different shape. And if you're still having trouble, don't worry, I'm going to make this look a little bit more like a football, hopefully. I added our laces here, so let's see, we'll throw our laces in right here towards the middle. So the laces aren't really a part of what the winter football looks like up in the night sky, but if you need a little bit of help, Betelgeuse, which is the armpit star of Orion, if you remember talking about Orion, it means armpit of the one. So Orion has a very stinky armpit star that you can see sort of in the middle of the football. Maybe you can imagine some laces going through Betelgeuse there in the middle. So if you need a little bit of help, look for Betelgeuse, imagine these laces right in the middle, and you get our winter football. Yeah, yep. Really gets me in the mood to start a new year, hopefully really big and really bright, just like these stars that we can find up in the night sky. Now, where should you be looking for this constellation? Oh, I'm so glad that you asked. We're going to find this constellation right at midnight. That's right. At midnight, you can find this constellation up in the night sky. If you look too early, it's not going to quite be there yet. So I challenge you guys to go outside right at midnight and find this constellation up in the southern sky. So if you need to go back, watch some of the videos about these constellations that we've talked about before. Go back and see, okay, how far is maybe Capella from Aldebaran? Did I talk about how Taurus and Auriga were close together, or how maybe Taurus and Orion were close together? So use sort of those context clues to find all of these stars up in the night sky. It gets even better if you have a telescope or if you have binoculars, because you can start to actually see the colors of these stars up in the night sky, especially Aldebaran. So if you are trying to figure out, I don't know if I can see that or not, try to find a orange looking star. It might look a little orange red, and that means that you found Aldebaran. So use your context clues, use everything you've learned this year on constellation to find our winter football up in the night sky as you're counting down into the new year right at midnight. Go outside and find our winter football. Send me pictures if you take pictures of it. Show me your own footballs that you've made maybe at your own constellation station. And I can't wait to share more about outer space with you guys in the new year. So I'll see you guys in 2021.